I was thinking about it, and I was getting ready to go to bed because I gotta get up at 5:30 in the morning. But I felt like the Lord wanted me to tell you my testimony, and a little bit about myself. I am originally from Missouri, and the Lord moved me to Maryland last year, August 29th, and I came on the bus 2 days later, almost, I say 2 days later, and on August 31st, officially. And I had enough money to stay in a motel, and a friend of mine, I made a friend right away at the bus stop, and he told me that if I go to Goodwill, they could help me find an apartment because I had no plans of getting an apartment right away because I really didn't have the finances. And so he told me to go there, and then I went to Goodwill like a couple of days later or something like that, and I stayed up all night. I didn't know it was a bad area. I stayed up all night and waited till they opened up at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I told them what was going on and everything, and they sent me to Salvation Army. So make a long story short, the Lord put me in Salvation Army for 6 weeks. And during that 6 weeks, I went back to McDonald's to work. I loved it there. Denny, I miss him. Stan sold a lot of his McDonald's because he wanted to retire. The other half he still has them. He'll probably sell those later. But it wasn't the same after Denny left, and he wanted me to go to West Virginia and work for him, and I had no way of getting there. And by then I was in and out of motels, and I had to camp at work, so technically I was homeless. It was hard, but my dream was to always help people on the streets, and I didn't know I was going to end up on the street too. And they just helped me go to motels. Some of the managers would help me. This is before our McDonald's got sold, and they would let me stay there. It was hard to sleep. I didn't get much sleep. And later on, after the people that bought the McDonald's that I was working at and won a pilot, I would get more hours, and I was retired too on top of that, so I had to go back to work. And the Lord just worked everything out. He took care of me. The hardest part was when I had to leave, and then I go on the side because I had nowhere to go. So I ended up going to work and staying there in the back part of McDonald's. And later on, I felt like I was hitting bottom. So the Lord sent me to a mission, and I asked him if I could stay there, and they said there were no beds that night. So they sent me back to Salvation Army. And long story short on that one too, the lady let me stay a week until my motel room was cleaned after somebody had left. And it was for people to keep them off the street. And I was there for 3 months, and then I got my apartment. And it's been rocky off and on, but the Lord kept me going. And now I'm working at Goodwill hanging clothes. It's fun, but it's challenging too. And God is just awesome. There's only a couple people there that know the Lord, and the challenging part is I have been attacked there, but the Lord is going to keep me going. And it's not like it was when I was at another at a food place where I was bullied. Oh, that was not fun. I had to deal with that for 2 years almost. And I have a testimony on that one too, and I'll tell it sometime. God will allow you to go through things for a testimony. It's a test for a testimony, to be a witness to people that don't know the Lord. And He has used me being homeless for like when I went to Africa, I thought I was getting compassion there, and actually I was getting compassion through being homeless here in Maryland. God is awesome. Sorry, it made me cry. I get emotional. But the Lord used this to help me have more compassion and more love for people. When you go through things, my dream was to help people on the street, have my own mission, have the whole works. And when I thought I was going to get a mission, I had like 3 buildings that got condemned. This was in Missouri. And He finally convinced me that I am the mission. I can bring people food on the street, because there are people that will sleep between buildings, like in an alley, and I can bring food there. He showed me that I was going to be doing that. I don't care if it's still in Hagerstown or in other parts of Maryland or New York. I'm going to do it. It'll be different, but it'll be, my dream will come through. And me working at Goodwill also helped me to get used to clothing, because I'm not going to hang up clothes like the way they do. My dream is to fold them up, put them in sizes for the men, actually buy clothes for them, and for the children. The children are on the top of the list, and the women, and the men always need clothes. It's for the homeless, and I don't know how God's going to do it, but I'm just going to trust Him. My testimony eventually will be in a book, hopefully. Ever since I went through this, I said, Lord, I'm going to write a book. I always wanted to write a book on forgiveness, because I had to forgive a lot of people at a place I worked at, because they were bullies. A customer told me they were bullying you. It's like, oh, great. That's all I needed. But God used that for a testimony. And I shared it on Facebook several times. I don't care if one person liked it. It was shared. And God is awesome in everything that He puts us through. Test is a testimony. And I made friends at Salvation Army. I'm making friends at Goodwill, and I'm even making friends on social media. People are just really nice. There are those that can be challenging, but they're nice people, and they're coming to the Lord. If this plants a seed, I hope it does, and people will come to know the Lord through this testimony. Be blessed. More later.